This one, 22 people waiting, yeah? I'm waiting, guys. I'm waiting for the message from YouTube that I can start the show, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna say here, I'm live on YouTube. Yeah, something like that. Building. Coding, maybe? Coding. Message queue. What's going on here? In Golang, of course. Something like that. Capital G. Hands are still cold. Pull. Knees are weak. Hands are sweaty. What is up, everyone? How is it going? I had some technical issues here, but it's fine. I fixed it on the fly. You know what I mean? It was a big deadline, actually, to be honest. Did some changes on my microphone. I don't know what's going on. I hope it's going to be better. Because previous stream was a little bit... I don't know what it was. It was like... fucked up. You know what I mean? Not the best, not the worst. But I want perfection. You know that. We're perfectionists here. Coding MSQ in Golang. Just like that. Maybe more dopamine than your average blood. Something like that. Shit, did I actually put... God damn it. I'm an idiot. Rookie mistakes, man. What's going on? Can I actually edit this thing? Probably not. Can we do that? Pin, change. Pin to your profile and everything. What's going on? Paste the link like that. Fuck it. Alright, I need to do the same thing on Discord. By the way, guys, very important. If you're not subscribed yet to the channel, consider subscribing. Jump into the Discord community. Make me happy. What is up, Dimitri, Boss, Osama, Ibrahim? Merhaba. Salam alaikum. Handling. What's up, boss? Interstellar. OG. What's up, man? Welcome. Okay, guys, I need to do a lot of stuff here, man. What's going on? I'm already a Discord here. Let me make an announcement. How do I do that, actually? What's going on? Man, I'm getting too old. I'm losing my brain. You know what I mean? By the way, guys, how was your weekend? Tell me everything. What was everybody doing? Did you know what I mean? What did you do? Tell me everything. I want to know everything. I'm live. Something like that. Boom. Send this thing. Boom. 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 All right. Actually, guys, I met two people of the community this Friday. Right, these guys were flying over from Albania and Portugal to Belgium. That's crazy. And then we had some drinks, Karmeliet. Yeah, some Karmeliets. It was amazing, man. It was cool. We took no pictures because, you know what I mean? What stays in Antwerp. What happens in Antwerp stays in Antwerp, you know what I mean? Keteltje and all that stuff, you know. That's not true, that's not true. The people that know what a keteltje is, please leave something in the comments. Most of you wouldn't actually know what it is. But maybe some Dutch guys here, some Belgium guys, they know what a keteltje is. Let me know. Maybe we can go together there sometime. Alright. Guy from Mexico is the Nets clone. No, I don't know what it's gonna be, guys. Like I said, we're gonna be creative here. So I made a folder here, actually, the GStream folder, and there's nothing in it because, yeah, you know what I mean? Boom, just like that. Of course, I need to do this thing, and then we're gonna do settings. Oh, press enter, go to the bottom here. Window, zoom level. Why? What? Two is fine for the blind homies. Boom. Look at that. It's crazy. Alright, to delete this, let's make this folder thing a little smaller. So what we're going to do, guys, is basically, I was thinking, what if we build something like, sometimes you need to do that for yourself. right? Think about some cool stuff that maybe already exists. Doesn't really matter, right? Because Redis basically you can do everything with Redis or Kafka or something, but it's sometimes you need to try something yourself, right? Just to learn patterns, learn all that good stuff, right? So keyboard name KGB Mini, Corsair KGB Mini. And I thought maybe we can make some kind of a queue system, not a queue, some kind of a stream where we can publish any arbitrary data, files, keys. Well, keys like just simple data like foo is bar, age is 16. Wait, that's illegal. Age is 18. And maybe some video, some arbitrary. Right? And we're gonna push that to a topic like we already know, and then we can consume from that topic, and we can make it's gonna keep track of your consumer offset maybe, and then we can make consumer groups with different offsets, some like Kafka actually, but a little bit more lightweight, and we can. Yeah, because if you think about it, how do you start something like that? Of course, a lot of experienced developers, they will know, they will do their stuff, but a lot of you guys probably don't know or want to learn. How do you start something like that? Well, then I have some bad news because I don't know either. So that's why we are here. Franz Kafka, Anthony the Goat, maybe Nick, maybe Shirias Mali. Hey Anthony, I have been working on Go for a while, and I want to work as a backend guy. I am trying to build a distributed to-do task manager. Hey, that's amazing, man. Everything that's distributed is so cool because distribute all the things. All right, I think the anxiety phase is passing. That's fine, so we can get started. That's crazy, right? So how are we gonna do that? Well, we're gonna actually start with a new file. We're gonna make this main.go, right? And then we're gonna make a new file once again. I'm gonna call it a make file. Boom. We're gonna call this GStream. Why are we calling this GStream? I have no clue. Because I thought it was a cool name, right? GStream, because we're gonna stream PubSub. You can use it for everything, right? You could use it as some kind of a. Maybe we make it distributed. We don't know. There's so many things we can do. As long as we have a good time, as long as we are learning, right? Some interfaces, some concurrency channels and all that stuff. You guys seen, a lot of people seem to struggle with these kind of topics, so that's going to be a good thing. So we're going to say /bin gstream is fine. Actually, we're going to do this, and we're going to depend here on build. And then we're going to do this. We're going to build build -o bin gstream. Okay, package main. So we're gonna keep simple, right? And we're gonna extend and improve this thing over time. So of course, this is gonna be a 2-hour stream-ish. So we're gonna do a lot of stuff. We're gonna do a lot of bootstrapping. We're gonna do a lot of thinking how we're gonna design that. Of course, we cannot do this because it's all, guys, you need to understand that I'm doing this just out of the top of my head, right? I didn't thought about this. I don't know. I know as much as you know, which is basically nothing. Well, not nothing, but you know what I mean, right? So, and if this is successful and people love this, well, then we're going to continue this. You know what I mean? Me and the boys. All right, I'm going to do a func main here. Main. Boom, boom. Close this thing. Boom. All right. Question about... Didn't abuse any drugs. I know I look like that. I know I sound like it. But it's all natural energy. I swear. Pinky swear, guys. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do an FMT, and we're gonna say hello, just like that, and then we're gonna do a make here, presenter, of course, go mod, and of course, if I don't forget, it's gonna be available at github.com and dm/gstream, a distributed queue, message queue. Well, a message queue that potentially can be distributed, and we're gonna use different types of transports because I was thinking, hey, why not do it over HTTP? It's so easy, right? You can just, if somebody has the URL and is eligible to publish, you can just post stuff over HTTP. That would be nice. And maybe we're going to also integrate TCP. So that basically means we have HTTP, TCP. It's too much PP. So we need to have some kind of a mechanism with different listeners, multiple listeners in one server. Or do we have multiple servers on? Yeah, so there's a lot of decisions we need to make. Press enter. Make. Hello, that's nice. So what we're also going to do is, I hate these, I'm going to prefix this with alt, right? And then we can do clear, make, boom, beautiful, right? So let me think about this for a sec. So basically, how do you start something like this? Well, I did a lot of these kind of things already. So that's the beauty of messing around with projects you most of the time will never finish, right? That doesn't matter because you're gonna get smarter by doing them anyway, right? I was thinking that we could have something like, we need to have an underlying storage, right? That's what we need. Well, that could be in memory, but could also be on disk. Why? Because on disk actually could also be S3, right? It could be actually anything, you know what I mean? Like Redis is a lot of memory. Of course, Redis also has a persistent, if you want, you can also persist with Redis. But the thing is that if we use something like arbitrary data, files, music, JPEGs, nudes, who knows? That's gonna be nasty if we need to keep that all in memory, right? So, but the problem is making something on disk needs to have some synchronization methods, yada yada yada. So, do we want to mess with that already? Probably not. So, we could start with the memory, and then we could have something on disk, or maybe we could integrate something that could store on disk and in memory with a cache. So there's a lot of options here. So this already looks like an interface angle. I think an interface here for the underlying storage is the play, guys. That's the play. So we already know that. That's good. The next step is basically we need to have some kind of a server, HTTP, maybe TCP, and that's it actually, to be honest, right? Maybe both. Who knows? Right. So that's that. Do we need to do something else? A consensus? Maybe. That's for later on. So we have two things already. The domain. We have two domains already. Isn't that amazing? Make a real-time multiplayer game. Yeah, we already tried that here. We tried so many things here on the stream, guys. It's actually over a year now. We did everything, but also nothing. You know what I mean? We have the biggest graveyard of projects, but still, right? That doesn't really matter. All right. So there's gonna be main. Let me open up here a new file. I'm gonna call this storage actually, or maybe store. Storage is fine. So let's go. Boom. Package. It's gonna be package main, right? If I can type main, type storage. I'm gonna call this storage actually. You should call this a storer or something, but I don't like it. It's like the classical Golang interface naming. Nah. Storage makes more sense. We're gonna call this an interface. Interface. Yeah. So this needs to have two. This needs to have two. I think at least two functions. Every storage needs to apply on. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be something like push. It's gonna be any arbitrary data with maybe it's gonna return us an error, but I don't like it. But it's gonna return the offset maybe. You know what I mean? You push something, it's gonna return the offset. But wait, a storage can have, nah, it's not gonna. Let's do an error. Let's do an error here. That's basically just classical shenanigans, right? Push. I don't know if you guys hear the music, by the way. Let me know. Then we also need to have something like a get, actually, a fetch. I don't like. I want to be something special, right? Everybody's using get, and so I want to use something else. A fetch. I want to fetch from the storage at a certain offset, which is going to be an integer. It could be int 32. Doesn't matter. Let's use int. Actually, uint, but it's too complex. Int. Keep it simple. Why would we use a uint? Because the offset we're gonna fetch can never be negative. You know what I mean? So if you fetch, it's gonna return us any arbitrary data and it's gonna return an error, right? For example, bad offset, yada yada, problematics, yada yada. You know what I mean? Storage. So then we're gonna actually start with implementing a memory storage. Is that a thing? Memory store. Storage. Memory store. What do you think, guys? Help me out here. Interface. No, not an interface. This is the actual implementation, Anthony. What are you doing here? There's going to be a structure. I'm going to have some data. It's going to be a byte. So, like I said, guys, I'm basically sucking all of this thing out of my thumb. Right? So, this could be completely wrong, and you could already see that something is off. I know. But I'm lagging behind. I'm lagging. You know what I mean? I'm a lagging indicator. Data is not going to be a data is going to be a slice of bytes. That's what data is going to be. Right? So then we're going to have very simple. We're going to have func new memory store. We're going to give this some configuration probably, but we don't care about that right now. We should return an error. I don't know. We're going to just return the memory store. You know what I mean? Implicit returns, or how do you say that? Concrete returns, actually. Concrete types. So we're going to do a return and the memory store. We need to make the data, actually. So we're going to do something. This is, of course, this is not going to be super performant yet. First, you first need to come up with some kind of a base, and then you can jiggle wiggle. You know what I mean? Jiggle wiggle. You should call it storage. I know GC. I talked about that. You should call it storage, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? A storage. Is that even a thing? A storage. That's the idiomatic Golang interface naming. But storage. I mean, let's say you have something that a popper. Something that pops is a popper. Okay. Okay. It's fine. GC, it's fine. Store is going to be. Store, that's what it's going to be, guys. A storage. That's what it's going to be. Memory store, yes. Cool. When somebody has right, he has right. So there's no way to discuss and say, yeah, but I don't like it, because you just need to bow and do what needs to be done. You know what I mean? You see, I'm getting humble. I swear to God that 6 months ago, I would not do that. But now, I'm bowing the knee. I'm bending the knee. You know what I mean? Bending the knee. A coke sniffer. For example, like a hooker. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you have an interface. This type hooker interface, because you have something that has a hook. You know what I mean? Hook, URL, string, error. A hooker. That's bannable. This is basically illegal. You know what I mean? This is crazy. We can't. We cannot do that. But anyway, store is fine. Okay, data. So we're going to do something simple. We're going to say... Actually, is it basically type ending this? Look at that. Make. Look at that. Press enter. This is insane. Man. We don't... I didn't have it back in my young time. No, we need to do everything ourselves. All right, there's going to be a new memory store. That's fine. Let's get some stuff done, right? Let's speed this up a bit. Yeah, then we have two things here, right? So we're going to have S from memory store. We're going to call this push, which is going to be data. Actually, B going to be any type of byte error, right? And we're going to say something like S data is append S data B, something like that. Very simple. We're going to return no. Why? Because we are the Bob Ross of our painting, and right now there's not going to be a tree or a little cabin. Maybe later on we make a little lake with some little happy bushes. You know what I mean? Func S memory store, and that's going to be Anthony, please can you fetch. Offset int byte. Please error. Right. So now the thing is, of course, we need to check, right? So we could say if len s data is going to be smaller than the offset, we could actually return an fmt error f with something like offset %d too high. And then we also need to null for the bytes. Yeah. Return s data offset. I'm thinking here, we're gonna make a big, like usual, I'm gonna make a mistake here. S data offset, so if you say -1, there should be something like a -1. There should be somewhere here, I don't know, there should be some kind of a -1 here and there. Right? But I'm gonna leave the error inside of this thing. But I'm already gonna tell you there's a problem. But I cannot, like my autistic mind cannot grasp that sometimes. It's crazy. Sometimes I'm a genius, but I'm also sometimes a very retard. It's, you know what I mean? It's extreme. I'm the man of the extremes. I'm never, it's either gonna be 0, I'm a binary person. It's either gonna be 0 or 1. I'm gonna be a complete moron, or I'm gonna be the Albert Einstein. You know what I mean? It's nothing in between. It's the same. It's gonna be good sex, or no sex at all. You know what I mean? It's gonna be good or none. Nothing in between. That's something. That's how I operate. What is this offset? Well, the offset is basically that each time we're gonna fetch something from our queue, we are going to fetch the data that's at a specific offset, because we're gonna have one underlying storage with all these messages being published, but we can have multiple consumers consuming from different offsets on the same topic. So that actually comes up with something like, so this storer, do we need a topic here? That's a question, right? I don't think so, but because we could make each topic have its own store, which is actually just a slice of bytes, right? Nothing more than that for now. Of course, there should be a slightly better data structure, but hey, like I said before, let's finish this up so we're done with this thing. Fetch, that's fine. So what we could do is basically make something like storage test go package main. And then we could do something func test storage, something very simple. Does not need to be completely. This should be a capital T actually, to be honest. And we could say s is going to be new memory store. And then we're going to say s presenter 100 as push byte foo bar bus. Is this an error? Yeah, it is. If ash is going to be boom. Actually, should we returning the offset with push? I don't think it's a good idea, because why would it matter? Why would it matter? Why would it matter? I have a feeling that it's going to be interesting. We can see. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna return this, because what can be the error if we push? It could be out of storage or something. Is that a thing? Int error. Let's change it up here. Int error. Boom. If offset hash. It's gonna be this. Let's do that. Classical Go stuff. If that is not nil, we're going to say t error f. No, not error f, just error this thing. Boom. And then we're going to actually say something like data r is going to be s fetch me from the latest offset. We could actually latest offset, just for simplicity here, not simplicity, for clearness, whatever you say that. Readability. Thank you very much, Anthony. You're welcome. As fetch data, we're gonna copy this thing. Yeah, we can paste that in. Then we do an fmt println data. Actually, to be honest, string data, because we can. And then we could actually say go test dot slash every. Actually, to be honest, I can press buttons here. Press. And that's where the -1 comes in, guys. Because this is already a problem if we return the data -1. Because we're gonna start at offset 0. What am I doing here, you fucking idiot? That's gonna be it. I swear to God. Of course, we cannot. We cannot. If you want to test something like that, don't be like me, right? If you want to test something like this, you need to do something like this. Like for example, the key you want to store, or the data actually. It doesn't really matter. Let's say arbitrary data key. The thing, whatever you can call it, whatever you want, and we could say, to be honest, fmt sprint foo bar bus, and then you could do something like this, underscore %d, and then you could say y, right? And then you could put in the key like this, bytes key, press enter. Well, now you get printf. Sprintf. What's going on? I swear. Okay, cool. You see, now we can see it's okay, cool. Lazy butthead. Thank you very much, Lars. I still think push should return its offset. Osaba Ibrahim, I know you are super smart, and you were, again, like I said, I'm a lagging indicator. You were already one step ahead. Thank you very much. But we already fixed that because I thought the offset would be nice. You never know, right? You never know. This is actually the simple stuff we're gonna do. The hard stuff is coming, so I'm gonna speed this up. Key layers offset, yada. So this is gonna work fine, right? So there is a problem if we put this into a Go routine, right? Go func. If we put this into a Go routine, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna have some data race conditions, probably because we have data here, which is basically not concurrent safe. The question is, does it need to be concurrent safe? I think it needs to be concurrent safe. So we're gonna do an mu sync mutex, because otherwise the YouTube police, I already hear the sirens, or whatever you're gonna call that. They're already there. We're gonna sync RW mutex, just like that, right? So we're gonna do something like this, very dirty. SMU lock defer SMU dot unlock, something like that. That's a push, right? And in this case, it's going to be a fetch, which is basically just a read. So we could do SMU dot R lock and defer SMU dot R unlock. Easy peasy. You know what I mean? Boom. Problem solved. We can move on with our lives. Thanks for all these live coding sessions. Hey man, 3W4, it's fine, man. Thank you for being here. That's the thing. 95 viewers for the fucking message queue. That's insane. Thank you very much. Be here. Please consider subscribing. You don't need to pay me anything. Just subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. It does not need to be something useful. It can be some meme or something. It doesn't matter. Just some type of letters. It doesn't matter. As long as YouTube gets the impression that I'm important, because then it's going to distribute my videos to much more people. And jump into the Discord community. All the links are probably in the description. I love you all. Alright, so we now need to continue here. Okay. So now we have a storage, right? That's good. Which kind of works, I guess. How do we do that? Something like this. Press enter. Alright, it's fine. So, actually, min verbose. Can we do that? -V. Yes, alright. The next step is we need to find a way to have some kind of a top level structure, right? So we already knew that was a very simple one, right? If we have a queue, a message queue like Kafka or something else. So we know that we have some underlying storage. We transformed that into an interface. We made a memory store just because we were lazy pigs. But we also know that the storage needs to be somewhere. It needs to be attached to something else. And of course we are writing Golang, so yeah, there should be a structure, right? So we need to have a top level structure. What you could do is you can name this top level structure the name of your project. Maybe you have something like, for example, Redis. You could call your top level struct Redis. But most of the what I'm doing most of the time is just call it server, because this queue needs to be, you need to publish something and consume something, so you need to connect to something, and most of the time it's going to be a server that listens and serves, right? So we're going to call it server. Sometimes people call this daemon or daemon. Not quite sure what the correct pronouns is here. Pronouns, is that a thing? The correct parlance, but I think it's a daemon or daemon. I don't hear this term anymore, but back in the day, a daemon, whatever. I'm gonna call this server, to be honest, not gonna lie. It's super simple. Server, go, boom, just like that. Package main, boom, boom. Let's close this screen actually on the other side. Why can't I? Boom, boom. It's closed. Perfectly fine. This makefile can be gone. Well, where's this? Okay, this is the main server. Alright, cool. So, type server. So, what we know is if you have something like an top level thing, you're always gonna have something like these are patterns, right? These are common patterns in Go. You have a server, and the server is gonna hold a store, which is gonna be a storer, right? So now our server has, we know that our server has for the people that are actually already experienced, this is going to be very boring, but for the people that don't know yet, or basically don't know Go just so very well, the server has a dependency, and the underlying store is going to be the dependency. It's the same thing like you have an HTTP server and your database is going to be a dependency. This is the same thing. So our store is a dependency, so we use this as an interface. So we can actually configure our server. We could actually use even a config, right? We could have our options. Let's call it config just for simplicity. You could say, for example, config, right? And your config could be a structure that actually has the store inside of it, so you can configure it. But that's all. There are so many things. What is right? What is wrong? I don't know. I don't think too much about it. But this config struct is something we really need, for example. And if you don't know what kind of configuration you need, what kind of configuration does a server always need? A listen address, right? A port. In Golang, it's called a listen address, right? In JavaScript, and in C, it's gonna call, in C actually, address, yeah, whatever. But most of the time, it's a port. In Golang, it's a listen adder. No, actually not true, because a listen adder is... Don't mind me. You see, the more you want to try to explain simple concepts, as a YouTuber, you need to be very careful, because people are going to take these words for granted, and they're gonna send the YouTube police to basically try to use everything I say or do against me. In the name of the law. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, I'm gonna call it listen adder. Listen adder, right? Just like that. It's gonna be a string. And in my opinion, this is the port, but it is what it fucking is, right? So you can, the same thing in server, you could use the config, the functional config pattern, you could use a builder pattern, you could use whatever the fuck you want. Doesn't really matter, we're gonna keep it simple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this config, embed it into the server right here. Config please, right? Just like that. Why are we doing this? Because it's easy, then the server has all these things inside of it and all that stuff, right? So we're gonna make it actually. Now I'm questioning myself, and I do that a lot of times. But that's so lame. Fuck this shit. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this new server, and we're gonna give this a CFG, and it's gonna be config. Why is a pointer? I have no clue, guys. Don't ask me these questions. And that's going to return. Actually, this would return a pointer to the server and an error, right? Because why? Maybe we're going to boot up the listener, and the listener, maybe the port is already in use or something. I have no clue. So we're going to do this, and we're going to return. Just to make it simple, we're going to return the server like that, and nil. And we could say, for example, at the config, it's going to be the CFG. What do you think, guys? Like that? What do you think? All right, let me see. Do you start record this live for TikTok? Nope. Do you watch a Russian streamer? Soden, yes. What do you think about him? I think he's one of the... I think he's one of the best technical content creators in the world. So then, in my opinion, he's one of the best because he does a lot of variety in a lot of different languages. And he does it in some kind of a very educational way. His font is fucking huge. And he's very smart. And his humor is not like, it's not as how do you say that? Energetic like me or like Primogen or somebody else, but his humor is okay, right? He doesn't make anything always boring, right? He makes some good jokes here and there, right? So I think if you wanna go for entertainment and global knowledge, like somewhat of a knowledge, and you wanna be entertained, you should watch Primogen. But if you want to be a very good backend engineer, builder, problem solver, hacker, basically somebody that can just build anything in every single fucking language on the planet, then you need to watch Soden. Basically, that means if you want to make a lot of money, that's actually not true. Because Soden will teach you how to code, build, and be lean and mean and just get everything done. But what he does not do is he does not learn you how to sell yourself, to market yourself. That's maybe what I do a little bit better. So that's what I think about him. Right? I think he's amazing. Yeah, the crazy man did the do app in ASM with persistence. Yeah, like I said, he's just on another level. This, there's nobody that can come close to him. Nobody, just nobody, right? But his things are very, like, you need to understand who wanna knows that, right? It's very specific content that only people that really wanna be good watch. Nobody's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna watch Soden just to waste my time. No, you're gonna watch him so you can focus and see how these things all work and learn from it and copy it and maybe be inspired by it, right? But if you really wanna smoke weed, drink beer, and just have a good time, you're gonna watch, and that's no offense. That's no offense. And you're gonna watch Primogen because he is entertaining, he is funny, he covers interesting topics, but you don't need to be on your highest level of alertness. And that's why Primogen is successful, right? Because that's the he found the golden nugget in tech, right? He found educational, entertaining, combination, you know what I mean? Reaction. He's playing the game like it should be, right? He's the best player in the space right now. And that's because, yeah. All right. And now I'm completely. All right. Let's calculating distances. All right, we're back in the game here. New server, config, yada yada yada. That's fine. So what I do then is basically you basically make a new file here, and you make server dots. Why I do this thing? Actually, to be honest, we could do this actually in our main here. Yeah. It's gonna be in the main. So we could do something like that just to test here, right? We could do. I'm gonna make an S. It's gonna be a new server actually. Yeah, new server is gonna be fine. We need a config, right? So we could make CFG here. I'm gonna say and config. I'm going to say a listen header. That's going to be port. What is the holy grail of ports, guys? Let's be honest. It's 3000. It's not 2000. It's not 5000. It's not 8000. It's 3000. No discussion. If you think it's not 3000, you're going to get banned on this channel forever. But because Golang uses strings for his ports, we need to make it a string and do this. This something that, in my opinion, does not make any sense, guys. Like, if I would change something, I would just use port as an integers and just do it like that, and it's gonna be fine. And so we could make it port, and this feels good to me. This feels like coming home. You know what I mean? This is coming home. But hey, it's gonna be a listen and we're gonna use this, right? It's fine, all fine, cool. We're gonna put this config into this thing, and it's gonna be all fine, right? And we're gonna have a server, right? Let's print the server out. I'm just gonna teach you how I make these things, right? Exactly how I do this. This is what I would do, even if it was not on stream. I would make this server. I would make this config object struct with just a port in it, and I will put this thing open in my main and print it out. That's what I exactly would do if somebody asked me, hey, make a queue, make a message queue, make something better. Make something different, make something lightweight. I'm gonna pay you 150k upfront and another 50k when it's completed. And then you're gonna get royalties and all that stuff, and then you're gonna do conference. Well, that's what I would do. I swear to God. Yes, I'm him. Okay, this is gonna be an error, but that's no problem because there is no error. Actually, let's teach it to you. I'm gonna teach you like it should, right? Just like that. I'm gonna say log fatal. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now we have this server object with this pointer. Yeah, exactly. That's correct. That's correct. What you're telling me. It's the pointer to the configuration object, and that's why it's maybe not a good practice to do, because yeah. And now we have null here. Correct. That's the story, right? That's the story we didn't initialize yet. All right, cool. So what's going to happen here, guys? I'm going to show you the bad thing. So we're going to have a server here. So we're going to have on this server will be some kind of a transport. And what do I mean by transport? Because a lot of people are going to say, what the hell are you talking about? A transport is the term of you have a server, which is something that serves. It listens and it serves files or data or whatever. Data, bytes, actually bytes, right? It listens for bytes and it's going to return bytes most of the time. Depends on what kind of server you have, right? A transport is basically the way how these bytes are getting transported between your machine, the server, and somebody else. The producer, the consumer, could be the same machine, whatever. Let's not make it complicated, you know what I mean, right? And we could have something like basically everything is going over TCP, UDP, or whatever. And most of the things are going over TCP. But we have different kind of abstractions around that. For example, HTTP, HTTP2, HTTP3. I don't know if that actually exists. Probably, I don't know. Maybe they are working on it. I have no fucking clue. Educate me. Leave it in the comments. gRPC, which is some proto-buffer protocol on top of TCP. You know what I mean? Yeah. In our case, we're gonna have. I think we're gonna start with an HTTP transport to make it very simple. The problem is going to start at. No, there's no problem. I was thinking maybe we should have like internal communication if you have multiple queues, like we did with the distributed cache. Remember that series that we didn't complete it, that project that's again in the graveyard. I understand. Well, that thing, right? So when we have masters and we have some slaves or whatever you're gonna call that, like members and leaders and followers, you know what I mean? Then maybe we should have an internal communication that goes over TCP with our own protocol, something simple like Redis, right? How is it called? Simple Redis protocol, something like that. Just bytes, simple bytes, strings, right? Bytes actually. All right. So if we know that the server is going to handle the global object, the global stuff, we're gonna have something like this, right? Func Actually, that's not true. Because I was thinking, let's say we have some kind of a loop and we receive like foo, for example, this thing, as this sounds weird what I'm doing, because most people are just copying stuff to teach you something, but I'm trying to take you with me into the way I try to design or come up with what's the fucking next step, you know what I mean? What I'm gonna do next. And sometimes I do these weird things so I can infer what needs to be done next and how it's gonna work, if you know what I mean. It sounds very weird, but that's how I operate. Is that the best way? I don't know. But that's how I do it. So that's these streams take you into my brain, so you know how I do these things, and maybe you could utilize some techniques or not. That's up to you, right? So let's say there's going to be foo, and that could be something like an HTTP request coming in, and then we're going to have something like s store, right? And then we can say fetch, for example, right? Or yeah, something like that. So we don't need fetch on this. This does not need to be fetched. This does not need to be a wrapper. It could be, right? You could have an internal function that wraps the store, something like that. And this fetch can then be called inside of a handler, right? So the problem is that if we make this fetch, let's delete this, right? The problem is right now, if we do this, for example, sFetch, sStore, this is a public one, right? sStore, and then you're going to say fetch here, for example, offset 0 or offset 10, and it's going to be an underscore error here, right? And let's print the error. Is that not true what I'm saying here? By error, yeah? It's because error is already declared. And we don't make, it's going to be a problem, right? You're going to see a segmentation violation. And you're gonna have these things a lot, and I explicitly do this. Why is that? We already know why that is. Because we have a store. We just actually printed it out, right? We printed this out here. I haven't actually, to be honest, let's copy this. Let's be lazy. What's going on? Let's be lazy. Lazy pigs. That's what we are. As a programmer, you're gonna be as lazy as possible. So yank, yank, and PP. That's what you need to do. Like these Y and P. Those are your best friends in Vim. You know what I mean? Is that true? Yeah, it is. S. Just like that. So let's print this thing. Let's see. This is nil, right? And that's a storage. And we are calling fetch on that nil thing. So what's going to happen if you call something on it that it's nil? Yeah. A nil pointer dereference. Because you're dereferencing something that does not exist. So fucking hard. This is crazy. My liver is screaming like, ah! They are working so hard to closing the gates. Holy crap. Maybe I should pee, to be honest. Godverdamme. Any tips where I can learn more about software design? I don't know, man. Like I said, if you watch my channel, if you watch Primogen, if you watch Soden, I mean, if you watch these 3 channels, and there are a lot of other good content creators out there, man, you're gonna be the guys. Listen, I'm gonna be so honest with you here, right? I'm gonna be so honest. It's very important because a lot of people keep asking me this, right? And I was thinking about, I had 2 weeks off not so long ago, and I was thinking about that. So what should I do next? Right? What should I do next? I mean, there is a video on about everything, right? We made decentralized poker. We made, even though if it's not complete yet, we have so many videos, so many hours of content where you can steal with your eyes, right? I have a shit ton of videos on context, on HTTP APIs, on WebSockets, on all of these things. And of course, they are most of the time these projects are not complete, but that doesn't matter because the basic structure, the patterns that basically, if you check all my videos, I'm doing everything almost the same patterns, the same things are coming up. Just like I mentioned here with this config and this new server and an interface for the store, and all these same things are happening over and over and over again. And maybe some other people have other approaches, but if you type in Google how to use package context, you're gonna have 10 content creators making the same video. So there is no excuse for anybody here on YouTube or for yourself that you're going to be stuck in tutorial hell, because that's impossible, in my opinion. Because you can literally learn everything, not only coding. You can learn how to make a house. You can learn how to build a car from scratch. You can learn anything on you. It's crazy. And still people are not managing to build stuff. And I think that's because you, like I mentioned before on the stream, it's like the mistake I made, right? The mistake with I am very creative in my brain, and I want to draw. I want to learn how to draw, but the digital drawing, I want to learn how to do that. And I did it multiple times in my life, but I cannot make it happen because I try to focus on what program do I need to use? What brushes do I need to use? Do I need to use a tablet? Do I need to have the special screen? Can I do it with my mind? How to use color theory? How to use this? How to use that? I know all of this stuff, but I don't know how to draw basic shapes with just a pen and a paper. I don't know how to draw simple shadows with just a black crayon. I cannot draw a simple bird or a simple dog or a simple house or a ship or something else. I can't. But all these other things I learned. Hours and hours I learned. So I'm actually stuck in tutorial hell, isn't it? No, that's not true. That's because I focus on the wrong things. I don't have the fundamentals of drawing, which is make simple shapes into something that's not a beautiful painting, but it's something that if you hold it 1 meter away, people are gonna see something in it. It's not gonna be a perfectly colored painting, but they're gonna know what is on that thing. They're gonna know, oh, that's a car with a man and whatever, with a bicycle and an airplane and some guns and people are dying. That's the fundamentals. And that's the same thing with coding. You need to have the fucking fundamentals. And the fundamentals is not Rust, or the fundamentals is not clean architecture, or hex architecture, or OOP, and OOME, and Anthony GG. The fundamentals of programming is, I have a fucking problem. I want to solve that. And I'm going to use some kind of a programming language to solve that. And the only thing I can do with this programming language is assign fucking variables. Make a function. Return a variable A and variable B minus variable C. If else. And all these simple things. Forget enumerations. Forget complex Go routines. Forget all these fancy operators. Tenary, berary, blah, 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 airy. Keep it simple, because with the most simple things, with just a structure and a boolean and an integer and a string, you can do so many things. And that's what people forget, is how can we hack something together with big shapes that looks like solving a problem-ish. And that's gonna learn you all these patterns and all these thinking processes, you know what I mean? And then of course after that, once you know the fundamentals, then you can start just with painting. Then you can start using different brushes, right? And you can start going digital, using a Wacom tablet or something, because you're gonna be faster, more efficient. It's gonna be clean. It's gonna be presentable. People can also work on your drawing, or people can color it in, or people can use it for making a 3D model. So you need to have it, it needs to be better, cleaner, sophisticated, whatever. That's the only thing that's keeping you from making a lot of progress, is you're learning the wrong things. You're skipping some steps. And that's what I'm trying to do with my channel, right? Do not take all these terminology and all these fancy things people are basically shoving in your fucking ass on Twitter too serious. They are important because these terms, these concepts are being made by very smart people. But they don't really matter that much if you're learning. That's going to be a very, and I recorded everything, and it's going to be so amazing. The stars are aligned. We are at equilibrium. That's going to be on some kind of YouTube. Yeah. Keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. Not quite sure what the question was, but like, it's classic me. I am just, my brain is everywhere. Maybe not for everyone, but I get bored with stuff quickly sometimes. Yeah, it is. It's true, right? Everybody's get bored, right? But then you need to make sure there is some reward system, right? In the beginning, you're gonna get rewarded because you're gonna see some results. But at a certain point of time, you have already have that dopamine. Your body is used on having results, and money is the motivation. Money is the conversation. Let us be honest. Money, you know what I mean? Money don't buy happiness. That's true. But it puts gasoline in my car, isn't it? You know what I mean? It makes your wife happy sometimes. It puts this big fat diamond around her fingers. What's going on here? Yeah, here. What's that? Are we here? What's that? What's this song? Is my internet borked? Man, I thought we have some kind of a disconnection here. What's going on? What can we search here? Techno maybe? Some more pump it up. Diving to the moon. Let's go! $42 dB. Money buys a nice Mercedes. It is. Attention class. Let's get back to where we left off. Oh man, I needed to pee so hard that I think my body is numb. It's getting numb. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's numb. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on. Because if I go pee and I come back, the 76 viewers are basically completely gone. You know what I mean? So I need to take this one for the team. G-Stream. Alright, so what we're gonna do is, now we need to make a decision. We have this new server, right? So what I attempt to do, is the music too loud? Then you need to say, then you need to tell me. Actually, maybe we should have the underlying store in a configuration, because by the end of the day, who's gonna... It gives you the flexibility. Maybe we should do that. Actually, to be honest, let's do that. Where is my config? Config, let's open up another file, server, multitasking. So we're gonna say here, when we have multiple stores, it doesn't matter. Let's do this, and we're gonna see how this is gonna work, right? So let's delete this thing. We're gonna say new memory store. Press. Do we need something here? No, we don't. Boom, 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 boom. Offset too high. Why? Offset 10 is too high. Oh, yeah, of course, because we don't have inside of range. Makes complete sense, right? Because we don't have anything there, right? So this cannot. Okay. All right. Where's storage here? Here. No, storage, my man. Storage, yes. Fetch. So we're going to say this thing, and we're going to say if the data we have is smaller than the offset. Okay. Is that a thing? I never use these things, to be honest. Offset too high. How is this not too high? This is too low, my man. We should do this. We cannot do this. What we should do is this. We need to make this for high, and then we're going to say if the offset is basically smaller than 0, then we're going to say something like this. Copy that, paste that in, and we're going to say another error message, right? We're going to say offset cannot be smaller than 0. Merci beaucoup, mesdames et messieurs. Offset cannot be smaller than 0. Boom, just like that. Okay, cool. So what's happening if we do 0 then, right? I want to see this real quick. So the problem is that basically we have the length, right? The length of our data is 0. Our offset is also 0. So there's a little of a conflict here. So we need to make a decision, right? We need to make a decision. Are we going to start the offset from 1? Offset 1 makes a lot of sense, right? Offset 1, because what is offset 0? Hey, I want to read from offset 0. Makes a little bit of sense. Not quite sure what Kafka does. I have no clue. Some Kafka believers here, some Kafka abusers, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat what Kafka does. I have no clue. I used Kafka for so long, but I never actually paid attention to that. De rien. I'm the same with drawing. I don't have the mind for it. Well, it's not that we don't have the mind for it. I think we don't have the patience for it. We don't have the patience to start with the fundamentals. And we just want to have these beautiful drawings at first. I think we need to have some yeah. Wait, I'm thinking here. So these simple things. So if the length of the data, right? So it's going to be 0 at all times if it's empty. Can we do this? Is that a thing? You see, this is basically bring that coding. I don't know what's going on. I just do that. All right. We are already 1 hour in the stream, and that basically is like then the attention span. My brains are doing a lot of things, right? It's already Candyland. We cannot do that. So what we're gonna do is, can we do as store push real quick, and then we're gonna try. We have actually 1 hour more. That's good. As store push. We're gonna push. Foobar, something like that. Right, it's gonna be an error, doesn't really matter, and then we're gonna fetch that. It's gonna be an offset here, right? Is this an error? It is. I really don't like the error actually, but it is what it is, right? Offset underscore is this one. We're gonna fetch from the same offset here, right? And then we're gonna actually print out the data and print it out here, right? This is actually very simple. I know what it is, right? It's gonna be a string actually. It's working, right? You can see it's working. I'm gonna speed up, guys. I'm gonna speed up, especially for you. Yeah, foobar. So that's working. Beautiful, right? Because this is gonna be 0. Please, can you do something? Okay, that we can't. You cannot do that in Golang, my man. Alright, full bar, and then of course if you do, for example, 1, make. Oh yeah, that's because. Yeah. That's because. Yeah. It's because this, we don't check the error, right? That's why you need to check errors. Beautiful. Spiritus Santus. What language is Kafka built in? Java, and then it uses Zookeeper, and it's just, nah, it's nasty. It's good, right? Yep. Kafka is industry standard for a lot of things, right? The problem is that the mutex on the memory store, it won't be that fast concurrently. That's not always being the case. That's not always the case. There are some workarounds we can do, but actually, if mutex would be something that nobody can use, I mean, that would be savage, right? If you use concurrency with different threads, whatever you want to call it, different Go routines, and you're not gonna synchronize, then you're gonna have data inconsistencies. So you need to have a mutex or another synchronization mechanism. So what you could do is you could use channels, but channels are using mutexes behind the scenes. So you know what I mean? A channel is nothing special, right? People with a less programming experience, they see, wow, Golang channel is crazy, but it's read the source code. It's basically just a struct with some things, you know what I mean, and some synchronization stuff, semaphores, mutex, whatever you want to call it. That's the only thing it does, right? With some crazy syntax, you know what I mean? Not big of a deal. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, now we need to have the server, right? So we need to have some kind of stuff. So we're gonna say func as server. We're gonna have a start function. This music is so fucking boring on line, man. Something else here. What is this? Okay, this is good. Alright, let's go. Let's go! How are you going, my man? How are you going, my man? How's your relationship going with your Jeff? All good. All good. So we're gonna start the server. I'm thinking here, actually, to be honest. God bless you. Thank you, Aldi Manuel. Thank you, Matt Bush. Sorry, I'm super distracted. So let me think here. So the thing is, I would use something else, but we're gonna use a standard library, so we're gonna use the internals for our HTTP thing, right? So listen and serve. So we're gonna have something like as port listener, by the way. And then nil here, right? So are we gonna use nil for this handler, right? Listen and serve is gonna use a handler, and this handler, it needs to implement the serve HTTP. Normally you would use something like Gorilla, at least. At the bare minimum you use Gorilla, so you have some kind of a mux system. Gonna use standard library, so we can't. What we could do is do something like HTTP, because we're gonna have some topics, right? To be honest, again, that's something that just comes in as the latest news, is we need to have topics. So we could do something like the server. Couple things. You could say the server is the biggest object, and we put everything into server until it doesn't make sense anymore. You could say topics here, and that could be a map string with its own storage. That comes with another fucking problem, yeah. It comes with another problem because we make the storer here. Which has an initialized storer, but now we have topics. So that basically means that we need to come up with something new. You see? That's programming. You make problems, you solve them, you make problems, you solve. No, you make problems to solve them, and solving them creates new problems, and it's a vicious circle. That's, yeah, that's what it is. Alright, so we're gonna make something like topics. Like I said, is this the best way to do it? I don't know, maybe. Let's make a map, a string of storers. Right. Gives us the flexibility to have different stores for different topics. Why would you use that? I have no clue. What we could do is actually do this, right? So we're gonna I didn't like the storing configuration anyway, guys. I didn't like that. So we're gonna back to our name. We're gonna do. Wait a minute. Actually, we can use that. We can use that because what we could do is, because what's going to happen if we use close your eyes. It's time to close your eyes. For the people that don't know, if I say close your eyes, you're gonna do some nasty shit. So I was thinking, there's so many, like I said, there's so many options here, guys. What's going through my mind right now, it's crazy. It's like, it's so painful. So what I was thinking is, okay, we have topics. We have a configurable store. Could be a memory store, could be yada yada yada. But what if we give in this configuration here? Because this is super important. This sounds like stupid, but this is so important decision that's actually gonna make it makes a big difference between what kind of developer you're gonna be. I swear to God. I swear. This is very important. So we give here new memory store, which basically means this store is going to be a pointer to a store, and if we put that into every single topic that's get created, right, it's going to be the same fucking store, although we mean different topics, right? But what if we have a function inside of a server that's called create new topic, not new, create topic, which is going to be automatically, right? If somebody pushes, so what's going to happen is this, right? It's going to be something like this, for example, localhost. That's not going to work. So localhost 3000 slash my topic, something like that. That could be your API. If we don't have this topic, we create it for them. Auto topic. We call it the auto topic functionality. So each time this happens, we're gonna call create topic the internal function. And that's going to use this storer, which gonna have. Why is it not opening storage? What's going on here? It's gonna have an init. This is actually so bad. God fucking damn it! This is so bad. This is actually the worst programming you're gonna ever see. It's actually, if you know Hollywood, that's how I do things in Hollywood, right? So I'm gonna show you this. Actually, it's very important here. And yeah, I'm Hollywood. So in Hollywood, we have the concept of this GitHub, new GitHub is so fucking weird. Where is it? I have actually no clue where it is because it's engine maybe. Producer, you see? So the producer is a function that can return a receiver. And a receiver is an interface. Guys, what I'm gonna teach you right now is basically never been taught on the fucking internet. No Golang. No, I swear to God, there is no Golang content creator that is gonna teach you what I'm gonna do here right now. And if so, let me know, because then I need to say congratulations to that guy or girl, because then she or he is top notch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a function here. Yeah. How are we gonna call that function? That's one of the hardest parts here. That's what, actually, to be honest, that's why we could call this a store factory. Oh, guys, are we gonna do that? We're gonna call this the store factory. It's actually a fucking factory what we are making. This is crazy. Close your eyes. We are not gonna make this factory because that's against the rules. This is, I think there is in chapter 204.33, alinea 2, paragraph, whatever. In the Golang community chapter, association, worldwide, interplanar, stance, written by the Holy Grail. Don't use factory ever in your function names. So we can't. So we're gonna call this why are we making it so complex? Why do we even need that? I don't understand. Why am I making store producer? Fuck that. A store producer func. I like that. A store producer func is going to return a storage. Oh man, I'm gonna get banned. Reddit is gonna delete me for this. I think it's a good practice, to be honest, because this gives us some flexibility. Because, like I said, in Redis you have that, and in Kafka you have this, but maybe we want to have different stores for different kind of topics, because you're gonna have a file topic, so you can basically pub sub directly to S3 or whatever the fuck you want to do. Maybe you're gonna do some video files, and you're gonna have another storage, and maybe for your simple keys you're gonna use in memory, and you're gonna optimize that. You're gonna min max your whole fucking configuration like nobody ever min maxed something before, because you couldn't min max. But now you can min-max because we have GStream. So we're going to have a store producer func. And nobody is going to question that. Nonetheless, topic's going to have a storage beside that. So how are we going to do this? I have no fucking clue. So we're going to make this memory store. I'm going to make it something new. I'm going to make something like a func memory store producer, which is a function which actually could be the new memory store. Oh, that's why I love programming so much, because it makes you humble. It makes you fucking humble. This could be a new memory store, right? Isn't that a thing? So the only thing we need to do is make this a store producer func. I know it's the same thing. I know. And then in main, we give the pointer. Wait, it should work, right? Did we make a mistake here, to be honest, guys? Is it a possibility? A little happy accident here? That's a func storer, right? That's the same thing we did right here. It's going to be a receiver. And that's an interface. A function that returns a receiver. Wait. Wait. What am I doing? What are you fucking doing? Wow. We did it! We did it, guys. No questions asked. No, it's because the store producer func requires you to actually be a function that returns a storer interface. So you need to actually, yeah, it's fine, because yeah, no questions asked, it works, right? Sometimes take it for granted, you know what I mean? It's just that. So because I know that, because I made this thing, right? Hollywood is actor engine, shenanigans that I made, but I know that every producer I make is always a function wrapping something that returns the actual receiver. That could be anything, as long as it implements the receiver interface or the storage interface, right? So you need to make this function, right? Because right now, store producer func is a function, like here, is basically this thing, right? Is a function that can return a storage. So giving this, you can wrap that yourself and inject whatever you want, if you know what I mean, later on. So maybe we're gonna have, if you want to create a storage, right? Maybe we want to have a dependency inside of this storage, because we have, for example, a Postgres storage. So we need to have some credentials we want to give into this storage. So you could use this function to return a function wrapped the higher order function with this configuration, so you can inject it, if you know what I mean. Actually, to be honest, I think we can even make this much more simpler. What you could do, actually, can we delete this thing here on the other side so we can have some big screen TV? Save this. Yeah. So I even think what we could do here is, because new memories. Let me open up. Let me see. Let me experiment here. Yeah. So the problem is we cannot use new memory store, right? So, okay, listen. Very important. This new memory store returns a concrete type, right? It returns a pointer to a memory store. It does not return, although memory store implements this is actually already complex. Although memory store implements the storer interface, the function signature is not correct, right? Because this returns a pointer to a memory store, which is a storer, but it's not the function signature. It returns a storer. No. It returns a pointer to a memory store, which is a storer, but the function signature are not the same. Do you understand what I mean, right? So if we look at that, so that's why it's going on here. So that's why Let me, can I make this a little bit more clean so we can actually see this on screens? Yeah. So that's why we need to wrap this function signature and return the correct function signature, right? Now we have a function, returns a storage, right? This returns a storage because memory store implements storage, right? If we do this, let's do this, right? It's actually very important, guys, that you understand what I'm doing here. If we do new memory store, which actually should work. Why? Because memory store is a storage, so we're actually returning a function that returns a storage. Not true. Unless we say this. We delete the concrete type and we say that the new memory store returns a storage. Right? Storage. Normally that should work. And it doesn't. It should work. Why is it not working? Value of type store, yeah, because this, wait. Yeah, no, we can, because this is not a function. This is basically already the storer here. I understand, sorry guys. We can't, so can we actually do, yeah, if you do the function, if you do the pointer, then it's gonna work, right? If you use a function pointer, then it works, because this is a function that returns a storage. This is a function that's getting called. So this is not a function that returns a storage. This is the storer itself, not a function, right? And this is very, very important that you understand this. This is not the storage. This is a pointer to a memory store. So this is also not correct, because, and this is also not going to work, I think. Yeah, because this is a function that returns a memory store pointer, not a storer interface. You know what I mean? Very important. This is going to confuse you the fuck. This is basically going to make you humble. This is going to quit Golang. This is very important to understand. So that's why we going to keep this new memory store as the concrete type, because I love to have concrete types. If you say new memory store, it's going to not return you a storer, although it's going to implement it. It's going to return you a pointer to the memory store. This store producer function is going to return a func to a storage. That's why we can do this. We wrap it just like that. We delete this, and now it's gonna work. Why are we doing this? Well, because let's say this new memory store is very, very important. Please listen. This is the most important thing you're ever gonna learn. If this memory store requires, for example, it requires a URL. I don't know for what kind of a reason it requires a URL. Well, now we can't anymore, because memory store here needs to have a URL. For example, a URL you want to have. Of course, you could do, yeah, now in this case, you could do yada yada, but let's say you're gonna make this function here. I'm gonna call this very simple, store func, storage. I'm gonna make it more realistic, right? And that's gonna be, let's copy this, paste that in, right? And then we're gonna say, we're gonna delete this. And then we're gonna say that the store producer func is going to be the store func here. Oh, man, what's going on here? It's going to be store func, right? Whoa. Right. So that works, right? Of course, this doesn't work because that doesn't matter. Don't look at this. You need to look at this. This works, right? The store producer func is the store func here. But now everything works because new memory store requires a URL here, right? But we have it here, hard-coded. But we don't want that, right? So we want to have store func here, have the URL also, which is going to be a string. So we can put the URL into here, right? So then you could say this. It's not going to work. Why? Because you need to return a function, right? That returns a storage. Can we do this? I could use... Wait, I'm going to make it so complex that it's not going to... Sometimes I need to think myself, I'm so fucking sorry. Why is it not working here? And undefined URL. I know it's not defined. Okay, right. You see, now it works, right? So now you basically have the the flexibility to wrap. You call it a higher order function. You can call it a decorated pattern. Whatever I say on YouTube, people are going to criticize me anyway. So something like that, where you can wrap higher order, decorate other functions to construct and make things. Basically, I call it making a function do whatever the fuck you want by adding layers on top of that. Man, that was a close call, man. What the hell? I basically almost lost all my credibility on YouTube. This is crazy. Higher order function. Yeah, something like that. It's the higher order function, decorated, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? I don't basically tend to focus too much on all these namings. I just try to understand and know when to use them. And this is the thing, right? So now we have a store producer func, but we don't need this URL here. But you can imagine that if we have a Postgres func, a Postgres storage, or you want to specify a file storage where it's actually going to store on file, maybe you want to specify a path, a file path where it's going to store your bullshit, right? So we're going to delete this again. So we can delete this whole stuff because we don't need to specify in here. So we could actually just embed this in here and say for store producer func. Actually, to be honest, we don't need this. Yes, we need to. This is so fucking complex, it's not gonna lie. We're gonna return new memory store, right? Well, just like that. Oh my god, it's so fucking hard. What am I doing here? Wait. I'm an idiot. Anyway. Guys, I'm basically just, this is all at the top of my head. So excuse me if I make it sometimes too complex, or I just want to dive a little bit deeper here because I think it's very important to understand that you can do that. This is basically one of the hardest things in Golang to understand, in my opinion, because you can see that even I basically have no clue what I'm doing, right? Anyway, it works, right? So, topics. Oh, man, that escalated very quickly, not gonna lie here, to be honest. Holy crap. 1 second of stress. Oh, I was basically 10 minutes of stress. What the hell? Man, if I swear to God, if you come up with something and you cannot explain it and you're basically locked in yourself and you're stuck and you're choking and the whole fucking world is, well, the whole world, it's on YouTube, that's nasty, man. I'm gonna lie. Holy crap. But luckily, I stay calm. Ooh. And my knowledge and my confidence fixed it. And a little bit of luck, maybe. A little bit of luck. All right. Topics. Man, I want to do the networking, man. That's what I love to do. And now it's sitting, but that's very important because these what we're doing right now is basically you can use that for anything else in Golang. Right? It works for so many things. What are we doing? Server, I need, right? Let's make some room here for what's going on here. Maybe quit. Maybe we do quit with this thing, boom, and then quit here. All right. So we have this create topic, right? Perfectly fine. As topics, how do we do that? Oh, we need to check if the topic does not exist. Yeah, I see. How do we do that? Underscore okay is gonna be as topics name if okay. It's gonna be as store producer func. Right? We call this very important. So now, each time we create a topic, this is actually very important because people already dip them out. Bye, we know the pattern. See you later. No, that's not true. This is where we're doing this. Because right now, each time we create a topic, we can call the store producer func, which creates a new storage. And then we could later on add some functionality that we can make, can do whatever we want, right? You can implement more stores, interfaces, which you can create new store producer funcs for, which then you can use to do some topic shenanigans, a topic func, post topic func that's going to check what kind of topic it is, and it's going to initialize the correct store for some kind of a topic, yada 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 yada. And they all lived happy together, whatever. So you know what I mean? Something like that. Just giving you ideas, man. I'm giving you ideas sometimes. Okay, so we have this topics thing. We check if the topics does not exist. Is that true? We could actually do something like that, right? If, and then we make it like a shorthand, which is actually a longhand in Golang. Not gonna lie, it's not a shorthand. This makes it more confusing, harder to read in my opinion, but it is what it is. We're gonna make a bool. Why? Because in this case we're gonna just return true. Topic is created, return false. No topic is created. What do you think? I think it's fine. Could it be better? Probably. How are we gonna do that? Nope. How is your energy is coming from, buddy? Are you drinking vodka before the stream? No, man. No, it's not true. I have a lot of energy and I don't abuse drugs or something like that. I don't know. You need to have this. Listen, this is like a very high energy right now, but after the stream, it's like I basically just collapse. You know what I mean? It's GG. Game's over. I need to perform, right? What do you want? Do I need to be like a dead rat? You know what I mean? Like a dead marmot or something like that? No, you need to be energetic. You need to make complex and boring things more accessible and fun to watch. Because who is so stupid to watch me for 1 hour and 40 minutes? Who's gonna do that? People are not watching 60-second TikTok videos. And then they're gonna watch some bald dude from Belgium making some kind of a message queue. Only the ones that are doing that, willing to sacrifice their free time to learn, they will have a fair advantage. Because what we just covered, people don't know that, right? But what we just covered with the store produce funk, this is a genius play. Let's be honest. The store produce funk angle, that was a good play. Let us be honest. That was a good play. And why? How do I come up with that? Now you could say, Anthony, how do you know that? Well, because I actually already implemented that. But how do you know how to implement that? Because I just copied it for something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was looking into another actor framework, and it was not an actor, something else, some other package or tool was using this producer function. Actually, I think it was actor. I think I just copy pasted this from another actor framework. But it's an actor, and I call it receiver because I just want to be different. You know what I mean? It is the same thing. You have a producer, which is a function, returns a receiver. But in that framework, a producer is a function that returns an actor. I didn't know that, and I thought it was clean. And because I made that back in the day, previous year, now I can reuse that for something else. And that's what they call learning. But if you don't do that and you play Modern Warfare 3 or League of Legends, feeding the whole team, being depressed, well, you're never going to learn something. That's why we make all these things and probably never finish it, but still we're going to learn. That's very important. That's how you get better. You know what I mean? Great topic. So what we're going to do real quick before we end this thing is, I'm going to do some Q&A, and then next stream, we're going to continue this, guys. No worries. We're not gonna diss it yet. We need the networking part and the consumer groups. I want to do that. That's something that actually interests me to see how this could work. So HTTP listen and serve. So the question about it is how we're gonna use a topic, right? The problem is we don't know what a topic is. So we could not do something like this. HTTP. How do we do that? Handle func, right? You would do something like this, right? Handle func, and then you could say, for example, /foo, right? And then we could do a func, an HTTP response, right? Yada yada yada, right? And then we can, each time somebody does that, we can, yeah. But the problem is that we don't have a mixer, right? We don't have Gorilla because we promised ourselves to not use something else, and we only use a standard library. So I thought your last name was Good Game. It is Good Game, but people call it the Golang God, the Greek God, whatever. Hey, whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. Whatever God you want me to be, I will be it. So you know what I'm trying to say here, right? With this handle func, the problem is that we actually can't, right? So let's do something real quick actually here. Are we going to attach it in here? Probably we're gonna do that. Func, for example, as a handle publish, something like that, which is gonna be an W HTTP response writer, yeah, and then a pointer to an HTTP request. No errors, unfortunate. And let's do fmt println hash path hash URL path, something like that. Right, and then we could do this, and we're going to say s handle small caps. What the fuck's going on here? Why is it not typing me? You fucking pussy! Handle publish, right? Like that. And if we do make, yeah, we are doing stuff that we can do, right? Like this. What's going on here? Let's call as start here. What's going on with this memory store again, man? Why do we want a string? Who's telling us that we want a string? We don't want a fucking string here. Who did this? Oh yeah. Let's see. Alright, so let's make. Right, so now the server is running. Of course, we're going to use slog to log that server is running. But now we only have this one. If you press enter here, right, page not found. Yeah, that's because we have this. How is it called here? Hello? Server. Foo. Right. Oh, yes. Foo. Press enter, right? So foo. Now we're going to have here. Slash foo. That's the path. So what if we do... Oh, man. Holy crap. I'm so sorry. I needed to. So if you have slash foo, slash bar, right? That's not gonna work. Why? It's because the path handling, guys. It's the path handling, right? Why don't we use a standard library, Anthony? Why are you using Echo framework? Why are you using Gin framework? Why are you using framework? Standard library, Anthony. Standard library. Yeah, the standard fucking library. We cannot do anything with it. You know what I mean? HTTP is turning into something very complex. Because, not complex, but the routing and everything is just a pain in the fucking asshole. And now we're not going to do STD. And people are going to say, Anthony, why are you not using Echo? Why are you not using Gin? Why are you not using Fiber? You see, that's how it is. That's how the world works. But we can solve that, right? We need to problem solve and we cannot cry. We need to solve. So what we're going to do here is we cannot even, we could do something like a publish thingy, right? And then we could use something like, right? We could do this, make, right? And then we could do this, publish, like that, and then do this. Topic is whatever the fuck it is, right? Press enter and it's gonna work. Why? Because it's a topic, right? But it's a post, right? Because we're gonna use post arbitrary data file plus whatever we want, or we could use whatever, right? Just to test, because it's easy to test HTTP, right? We don't need to hassle with all these read loop and write loops, which we're gonna do. We're gonna make a TCP transport, because there is a lot to learn in TCP transport. You're gonna use go routines and bytes and reads and writes and blah, 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 you know what I mean? So what you also could do is make this server an HTTP thingy itself, right? What do I mean by that? Is we could use something like, instead of handling publish, we could do serve HTTP. Is it the same thing? I think it is. And then we can actually do HTTP listen and serve and do just... Wait, is this actually not the correct... Yeah, response what's request, right? What's going on? Server HTTP. No bueno. Server HTTP. Right, so we're basically gonna put the server as its own handler in the HTTP listen and serve. This classic Golang is it's 10 years the same shenanigans over and over. If you don't know this, you never watched a good YouTube tutorial. Welcome to my channel. Consider subscribing and join the Discord community. So now it's gonna be the same thing, right? If you do make, now it's the same thing, but now we are in control, right? We are in control. That basically means that we can do whatever we want right now, right? We could do this, this, and this, and we press enter, and it's gonna work, right? And now we have this beautiful path. You know what I mean? But I'm learning you is very important, especially if you're not yet quite familiar with programming and all that stuff, and how to solve problems and how to think dirty. And not only in the bedroom, but also in programming. Sometimes a little dirty is important because it makes you go fast. So now we have this. And now we can do a lot of stuff, right? Now we can say, for example, that we're going to have a publish endpoint, and that it's going to be publish, and then we're going to have a topic is foo, and we can post to that. Publish foo, for example. Right? What do you think about that? Press enter, and then we're going to see this here in our thing. So what we need to do as the next steps is we need to split the path, check how many elements we have, if it's 3 it's too much, if it's 1 it's too low, then we need to check if it's a good topic, yada 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 yada. Some validation. Then we can actually store stuff into our underlying store. We can connect other GStreams or a library or something with a protocol where you're gonna consume everything that is being pushed. And you're only gonna consume on what kind of an offset you are. Basically, classic message queue shenanigans going on. That's what we're gonna build. I'm already see that. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna. I think for publishing we could use HTTP. I think for consuming we need to have some kind of a. We could use JSON. I have so many ideas. That's programming. Like I said. It's crazy. Sometimes I block a little bit. Sometimes I wait a little bit. That's because so many ideas are going through my mind. How I can already. It's like a little bit of chess. I'm thinking about something and I see, okay, we can have JSON and then. But how are we going to? How are we going to save the offset? How are we going to know that? Maybe some kind of a header with a consumer group, right? And then if there is no consumer group, it's going to be the main consumer group. If there is a header with the consumer group over HTTP, then we're gonna save the header in some store, which we already have, the memory store. We're going to save the offset of that consumer group. So we know what kind of message. You know what I mean? All these things are... Yes, that keeps me awake at night. That's what we're going to do. Then we're going to make it better. Maybe distribute it. Maybe actually let the GG cache, which we stopped, maybe we can make our own protocol for it. Maybe we can make this good. All depends on what you guys want, right? If you guys think this sucks, if you guys think I don't want to learn this, I don't continue this, then we do something else. I don't care as long as there is enough people here in my stream. You know what I mean? So I wanna, like I said, I'm gonna sell my soul for views. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, right? Are there any? Wait. Are there any questions? So Demonware said, no offense, Brie, but have you ever noticed you look like Johnny Sins? I will show you something real quick here on my Discord. So this is my community. Join it. So basically here, what's going on here? Discussion from today. Discussion from today here on Discord. Dr. Suit with how to really impregnate channels. We are basically discussing good YouTube titles. For my videos, and then because basically people call me people will subscribe you as you're the Johnny Sins of Golang. But that's old news because people are calling me the Johnny Sins tech YouTube from day one, right? They call me or the GSP, George St. Pierre, or Johnny Sins, right? That's how they call me. It's all good, my man. It's all good. I see that as a compliment, guys. Let us be honest. I see that as a compliment. Not gonna lie, right? This is no offense for me. Being compared with GSP, with George St. Pierre or Johnny Sins, I don't see that as an abuse or an insult. I see that as a compliment. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you very much. Let's switch back to the GG cache. But the GG cache is kind of the same thing, right? This is going to be more versatile than a GG cache. The GG cache is just a cache, and I was eventually thinking of making the GG cache more of a pub/sub system, but that's so now we started this, and this could be like, because if you think about it, this could be anything. If you can save stuff and then you can consume stuff, you can have a pub/sub, but you can have a queue, you could have a cache, you could make it could be the Swiss Army knife of the technology industry, made by Anthony GG. Jean-Claude Van Anthony. Jean-Claude Van Damme is another level, man. Yes, yeah. How are you using Golang? I mean, Kafka originally written in C. Can you implement it in C also? Of course, you can write it in. Like I said, programming is just all an abstraction over zeros and ones, right? It doesn't really matter. It's an abstraction over how you're gonna instruct a machine to do certain things. And you have different layers of abstraction, assembly and C and C++ and C Sharp and Java and Golang and Python and JavaScript and Rust and TypeScript and TypeScript and TypeScript and TypeScript and TypeScript. You know what I mean? So they all do the same thing. It's just abstractions, and how higher the level, and some abstractions are slower than other ones because cycles, and you know what I mean? Some have better memory layouts, memory models and all that stuff, so they all do the same thing, right? Don't worry, this will graveyard too. It is. It's true. It's already in the Spiritus Sanctus. Anyway. It would be more performant. Yeah, maybe it is. But this is not about making things performant or making. This is about teaching you all, or the people that are willing to learn, to how to come up with these things and try to learn and use different patterns and different ways to do things, and to learn how it maybe works internally, to practice, to have a cool project you can build out yourself. Maybe it is going to be in the graveyard later on, but maybe you can start amending to it, and use that for your own stuff. I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Don't repeat TypeScript again, I'm so sorry. That's why I did. I know a lot of people would basically cringe out right now, but it's fine because we're gonna end the stream anyway. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for this joining up on this journey. Like I said, we're gonna stream this week probably again, and we're gonna continue this. Then it's more networking stuff, go routines and all that stuff, channels. Because I was thinking, a lot of people are saying I have problems with interfaces, problems with this, problems with how to get away from the object-oriented mindset. Well, I think this series is covering all of this, right? We did the interface with the storage. We actually used some kind of this functional higher order function, which is completely not object-oriented. It's basically more of a construction way, like a composition way, in my opinion, actually. Teaches you how you can actually wrap your function into another function, yada yada yada. And then we're gonna use more of the concurrency stuff, because we're gonna use networking. So we're gonna connect and peers and messages, and we need to use channels and synchronization stuff and all, and it's gonna teach you that. but then you have like a good understanding on how the things work in practice, right? Not so your classic tutorial with square, circle interfaces and whatever fucking gophers in a routine and in a tunnel or whatever. I don't know what they are using to show you that, but more of these real world examples. So when the time comes you need to implement these things in an interview or at your job, you're gonna have a much more familiar feeling with the problem, right? Hey, get the repository please. I will I'm gonna pee after this stream, and then I will make the GitHub repository, put that in, and put the link in the description so you have it. All right. Thanks everyone. If you have questions, leave them in the comment, jump into the Discord community. I wish you a very, very, very good evening here. Love you so much.